The days are really starting to heat up. This morning I awoke covered in sweat. By the time the student body starts leaving their dorms for breakfast and morning duties, the sun has taken full effect. Oddly, that puts me in high spirits. It's not even 8 yet. I feel that this day is going to be one of those pleasant, tranquil, warm ones. If I weren't at a school that considered every absent from classes as a sign of a life-threatening situation, I'd consider skipping the whole day and just relaxing in the school gardens. Yes, today will be a genuinely lazy day. For a second, I stopped in mid-stretch and considered the nurse's warnings about exercise. Maybe I should have kept up those morning jogs. Running with someone like Emmy might have been a little testing, but if I worked at my own pace, who am I kidding? I couldn't stick to something like that without some kind of motivation. It's not like I sit around all day. The walk to and from the convenience store counts as exercise, right? Especially the walk back up the hill. Yeah, it's no big deal compared to months lying in a hospital bed. I'm getting plenty of exercise. It seems that I'm not alone in my appreciation of the day. Nearly every member of the class is glancing through the window and into the tantalizing sky. Even the steadfast Shizune seems to lack her usual vigor for schoolwork. Misha, as brazen as ever, has even unbuttoned the top buttons of her shirt and is fanning herself with a notebook. I must have been staring as she's now sticking her tongue out at me. Oh boy. However, she shows no signs of halting her efforts, nor is she trying to hide the fact. The lunch bells seem to catch everyone by surprise and the class empties at a much slower pace than usual. The heat seems to be draining the need to rush from everyone. Well, almost everyone. Hisayo. Hey there, Hanako, what can I do for you today? Hanako already has a lunch bag in hand. I don't have to be a detective to work out where this is going. Would you like to have lunch with us again? I brought enough for everyone. Awesome, you don't have to be so stiff about it though. Ah, right. I take it we're going to the tea room? Please? Lily said she'll meet us in there, so we should go ahead together. Sounds like a plan. This heat has made me pretty hungry. Hanako breathes a sigh of relief, and I gather my things together. As usual, the aura of the tea room is refreshing, feeling isolated from the rest of the world. Then again, the usual din of the school seems to be a bit subdued, most likely from laziness promoted by heat exhaustion. Excuse me. Hanako slowly spreads her food on the table, intently focusing on every little movement as if she's trying to keep her mind off other thoughts. It's not much, but I can tell from her demeanor that she has prepared everything with utmost care. I guess Lily isn't here yet. Should we start without her? She'll be here soon. Hanako struggles with the lid of the container of rice. Here, let me help with that. I take the container from Hanako's hands and try to force open the lid. Try as I might, it seems wedged shut. Let me guess, did you put this in while the rice was still hot? Yes, I was in a rush. I put the container on the table between us. I thought so. It looks like this is wedged shut. We'll need some hot water to get it open. But that could be a pain in here. We'd get water everywhere. Well, in that case, how about I contribute to today's meal? At the door, Lily smiles while holding up a bag stocked with various buns and bread rolls. I can't help but do the same. Since you two had a change of plans because of me, I thought I would bring a little something. Thanks, Lily. Here, let me get that for you. With a little guidance, Lily's bread assortment joins Hanako's riceless platter. I hastily make some tea to complete the picture. Well, I'm looking forward to this. As I take a bite, I notice Hanako trying her hardest not to not look like she is looking at me. It's nothing special, but then again, I can't really complain. I'm pretty lazy when it comes to cooking for myself. Not bad. I guess this is made with the stuff you bought yesterday. Yes. Hanako's eyes shout at me, begging for some kind of feedback. Well, it was clearly worth it. Thanks, Hanako. I wanted to show you this after yesterday. It's okay. I was just a little surprised at the stuff you were buying. Hanako's always like to experiment when it comes to food. I think it's good most of the time. While Lily's smile doesn't waver, the slight change in her tone tells me that things have not gone so well in the past. And it's not like Hanako has many people to sample her cooking. Hang on, was Lily waiting for me to go first? She didn't start eating until after I said it was alright. Her cheeky grin tells me that this was a deliberate action on her part. I'll have to try and work out how to get one over her in the future to make up for this. Well, it's good, and that's all that counts, right? Right. Lily, satisfied at not being the first to sample Hanako's creation, begins to consume the food in front of her. I find myself staring as I watch her chopsticks gently touch the plate, their tips delicately poking and tracing to quickly ascertain the position of the food as she dexterously picks it up. One might think she were a child playing with her food, if not for the situation, though she does it with such care and thoughtlessness that it's obvious this is simply how she eats this kind of meal. Not wanting to miss out, I start filling up myself. Hanako takes a different approach, waiting until Lily and I have our hands clear before quickly snatching up her share. Before long, the containers are empty, save for the still shut rice container. Thank you, Hanako, that was filling. No, thank you for the bread. Yes, it would have been a disaster if not for that. You're both welcome. But now I must get back. It's far too easy to be late after eating here. Yeah, I see what you mean. I think we'll just clean up here and then head off. Well then, good day. Lily leaves her cane tapping away down the quiet hallway. Hanako and I quickly pack our things and stay seated, waiting for the bell. Together we stare out the window and into the endless azure sky. If it weren't for the pealing of the bells, I would have sworn that time had stopped. The urge to skip class rises in my gut. I shoot a glance at Hanako, who shows no signs of moving either. Not just yet. The interval between the warning bells and the end of lunch bells passed in the blink of an eye. We really should go. People will freak out and start a search party if we skip. Hanako sighs. You're right. Excuse me. Slowly she rises to her feet and I follow suit. Silently we make our way up the old stairs to the third floor and then to our classrooms. At the door, I take point and open the door ahead of Hanako, bowing my head down in apology in advance. I'm sorry we're late, teacher. I am greeted not by stern words nor by an angered instruction to take my seat, but simply by the silence created by 15 or so students trying not to laugh. Why? Matao, ever tardy, has yet to arrive. However, the fact that Hanako and I have arrived together is blatantly obvious. Oh. I can't pronounce that. Make that about 14 students trying and one student failing. Ha, the lovers return. Oh, come on. Did you spread those rumors or something? Wahahahaha. Oh my god. Yeah, thanks. You can calm down now. I step through the door and realize that Hanako is firmly pressed against my back, hiding herself from the class. I mean, what's the big deal, really? It's just a guy and a girl hanging out. I mean, it doesn't have to be romantic, you know? So, with my steps coming closer to my desk, she eventually breaks from me and stiflingly walks to her own. Her efforts to mentally block everyone's presence from her mind are written fairly clearly on her face. Quickly checking the door for any signs of the teacher's arrival, I make a trip to Hanako's desk and whisper in her ear. Don't worry about Misha, she's always like this. I enjoyed myself today. Don't sweat it, okay? Hanako nods her head behind her folded arms, but still doesn't show her face. I yearn to stay and counsel her more, but Matao picks this exact moment to enter the class halfway through his lecture, as if he started it in the hallway. Which of course is directly proportional to the charge, but inversely proportional to the square. Wait, oh, this is a question. This is not Hisayo's talking. Okay, which of course is directly proportional to the charge, but inversely proportionally to the square of the distance. He's so engrossed in his speech that he doesn't even notice me sneaking back into my seat from Hanako's desk. While Mutao's smile rambles on, Misha leans over to me. The teacher may not have noticed your tardiness, but I did. That much is obvious from the show you just put on. I have been instructed to let you off the hook for today, but only on one condition. Oh, and what would that be? You have to help us this afternoon. Ah, fuck. I crane my neck to look over Misha's shoulder. Shizune is conveniently not making eye contact with me. Fine, just for today. I've already told you I'm not joining the council member. Of course, doing so could be considered. She looks down at her notebook, obviously looking for a place in her script. Under duress, and hence would be against regulations. How very strange of you to be considerate of the regulations now. Things should be done by the book. It's just that the book hasn't been written for every situation, so there are times when it can be ignored. And yet you two wonder why no one else wants to be in the student council. After poking her tongue out at me, Misha returns to her workbook and we battle our way through the latter half of the school day. Excuse me. Before I can even stand up, Misha and Shizune have placed their hands on both my shoulders. Hey, I said I'd help out, damn. This is just insurance, Hisayo, insurance. Hisayo? Hanako timidly tries to leave the room by circling around us, and I suddenly realize that this may be my one chance to escape. Oh hey Hanako, what's up? Hey, what makes you think you've got time to chat? Oh relax, this won't take long. Sorry Hanako, you were saying? I was going to the library and I thought. Hanako's thumbs dancing around each other and her eyes flit around the room looking everywhere but at us. Sorry Hanako, but Hisayo has to come with us. He's got work to do. Oh, but you can help too if you'd like. So how about it, Hisayo? What do you think, Hanako? I've done enough work for the council already. Okay, so this part I'm gonna save on. So yeah, I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. So anyway, so I could either bring Hanako with me or say I've done enough work for the council already. Honestly, I feel like I wanna bring Hanako with me because it's like I wanna hang out with her as much as possible. I know she gets really nervous when it comes to other people around, but then again, I'm pretty sure she'd seem really upset if she was by herself at the library. I mean, she's very lonely and stuff, so I feel like she'd feel much better if she was around me, so I'm going to bring Hanako with me. So yeah, what do you think, Hanako? What do you say, Hanako? If we all help, it shouldn't take long at all. Hanako's fidgeting answers my question before she can even form the words. I really need to go. Well, that was to be expected. Looks like it's just me and the council girls again. It's easier to resign myself to another afternoon's work in the small council office. I'll catch up with you later, okay? I mean, it's like, I don't know if I would have said refused, but if they would have just dragged me in anyway, so I have no idea. I mean, hopefully I didn't choose a bad option, but hey, you know, I saved at that part, so I'm just gonna roll with it. At least maybe saying that made me, like, consider it for her, I don't know. I'll catch up with you later, okay? Okay. Right, now that the farewells are over, it's work time. You know, the thing is I'm wondering about this game is that I don't know if there are bad endings, like if whatever option you choose results the same. It's only a bad ending if you don't take any of the arcs, like if you refuse each girl. Like, from what happened to me when I was trying to get to the Emmy arc, but instead I kind of made a mistake, and which made me not go to the Emmy arc and pushed everyone away, so therefore I actually went to the bad ending. So I don't know if it's only the bad ending on that part or if it happens in these arcs as well, so I don't know. Anyway, right, now that the farewells are over, it's work time. Misha and Shizune frog march me to the student council office, never once letting go of my shoulders. I feel a little bad for ditching Hanako like this, but if this is the price of getting Misha off her back, so be it. Jeez, I don't even know if I did the right choice there. Was I allowed to literally back off from doing this, or it's like you were forced to do this? I don't know. But I'm just going to continue forward. So then, what are we up to today? Debrief. Huh? Isn't that supposed to happen after something? Yep, we have to collate all of the information from the festival so that Shi-chan can debrief the teachers. Shizune drops a large pile of paperwork on the desk in front of me and smiles succinctly. I don't know what that is. You need to sort those out into 2 piles. One for financial stuff like receipts, one for feedback, one for positive feedback, maybe one for things that look like they could be problems next year, one for problems that probably won't be able to be fixed. That's a few more than 2 piles. Huh, oh right, yeah, I thought it would be only 2 piles, my bad. Right, while I'm doing this, what will you two be doing? Well, we missed lunch because we were collecting all of these reports, so we're going to go get some food. Why didn't you just sort them out while you were collecting them? Thankfully, my self-defense mechanism kicks in and prevents me from opening my mouth and further worsening my situation. Eh? How is that fair? I was fretting over the unfair distribution of work so much that I didn't notice that Shizune had kept on signing. If it weren't for Misha's outburst, I probably wouldn't have noticed at all. Shizune seems to be delivering a fairly long string of commands to Misha, and none of them look pleasant. Reaching a conclusion, Misha signs briefly back to Shizune and then sits down at the desk next to me. Shizune waves to the both of us before disappearing out the door. What was all that about? Chi-chan was worried that you'd get it all wrong unless you were supervised. Supervised, I mean. And since she can't tell you how you are messing things up, she's making me stay. Aw, bummer, I wanted to go with Chi-chan. But she is going to bring us back some food. How good is that? Misha's flippancy is out of this world. From down in the dumps to on top of the world over some calories. It's hard to imagine how anyone could operate at that level. Well, it could have been worse. So what are we supposed to be doing? Collation. I gathered that. Well, let's just start making piles. We'll work out what the piles mean later. Right. We start to separate all the papers into increasingly complex piles. At first, it's just simple categories: financial, feedback, incident reports. Then they split apart into the good and bad reports, and further still until it starts to look like we've just thrown the papers onto the desk. This is hopeless. Why? We're doing what we were told, right? Yes, but it looks like we're just making a mess. No, I think we got a lot done. Shi-chan will be able to work out the rest from here. So I think we can stop about here then. It's almost as if Misha's common sense left the room with Shizune. Still, there's no point in arguing. Anyway, what's the deal with you and Hanako? Deal? You were hanging out with her today, weren't you? Have there been any fireworks, any gossip that you're withholding from me? If I told you about my own circumstances, it wouldn't be gossip, would it? I guess not. Or just friends, I guess. Why are you so interested? I thought you and Shizune didn't like her. It's not really like that. You know Shi-chan and Lily don't get along well. And since you can't really get Hanako away from Lily, we don't talk to her much. But that doesn't mean that I can't be concerned for her. What is there to be concerned about? Well, she never hangs out with anyone else, right? It's no good, Pi-chan. If Shizune and Lily dislike each other because their personalities are different, then I hate to think how Misha and Hanako would get along. I mean, in one way or the other, we're all in the same boat here, right? Well, I guess. This is one time when she left class halfway through, Shi-chan went to the teacher and asked what was going to be done about it. He said that every student here has special needs and that Shi-chan shouldn't worry herself about it. Hanako never does any group work, she just runs off. Isn't that enough to be concerned about? I guess you're right, she still hardly says a word while we're talking. Well, that's more than I have been able to do. Shi-chan and I both tried when she started, but she got scared and ran off. I consider telling Misha that exactly the same thing happened with me, but she seems caught up in the thought. Listening to Misha without Shizune's influence is interesting. I think she needs to realize that people here don't care what she looks like and that she can trust us. If she could, I'd feel a lot better about her. I think this is the longest I have watched Misha without seeing her sign. When she's with Shizune, she is constantly waving her hands about explaining the world to Shizune. That amount of effort probably places a strain even on an agile mind. And let's face it, Misha isn't the world's brightest spark. Well, I'll keep an eye on her for you. But you should probably apologize for earlier. I don't think Hanako is cut out for that kind of joke. Oh. I didn't even notice, sorry. Don't say it to me, just mention it to her. Alright, first things tomorrow I'll speak to her. Good. Oh shit. A cacophony from the door heralds the return of Shizune. I guess she can't really tell how much noise she is making. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Oh, Shi-chan, you're back! Shizune appears completely laden with goods from the convenience store. There was some surplus left from the festival. Since this is officially a festival business, I've splurged a little. Nice idea, Shi-chan. 10 points. Is that really allowed? For someone who refuses to join us, you seem to take an unhealthy interest in the politics of this council. I shall punish your insolence by rationing your portion of the feast. Fine, I get it. Misha slides the multiple stacks of paper to one side to make room for the avalanche of food Shizune is spreading out. As I watch my hard yet misdirected work become wasted, I realize that it's little wonder why these two need help. The convenience store meal isn't overly tasty, but at the very least, it's filling. Thanks for helping today. Most of the time we just make up the reports for the staff. This year we can at least make up some relevant headings on the debrief. Are you sure this isn't a corrupt organization? Not at all, not at all. We're by the book. It's not our fault if the book isn't specific enough. I thought that was the definition of corruption. You think too much. You know what? You're probably right. Anyway, I must be off. That is, if I'm allowed to leave. Your work has been deemed sufficient. You may leave. Well, thank you. You know, if you're stressed, the free meal side of things over the endless workload side, you probably end up with more recruits. You might just have a point. Well, think about it. And think about what we talked about. You don't have to tell that to Shizune if you don't want. What? Oh right, I'll try to see her tomorrow. Good night, Hichan. Night, Misha, Shizune. Alright, so I'm gonna call it off here. So things are looking great. It's really nice hanging out with Hanako and seeing what, you know, her arc might be like, but I'm gonna have to call it off here. So it was actually really a lot, like, you know, I had no idea I was gonna go back to Misha and Shizune, but then again, I have seen her a little when I did the Lily arc, but it's like when I did the Emmy arc, you hardly see Misha or Shizune at all, because, like, you know, they're not really like meant to be connected, because it's like with Lily, you're meant, when you hang out with her, she's meant to bury the hatchet with Shizune because of their differences. So maybe something like that would happen in this one. I don't know. So anyway, we're gonna save right here. So create new save. Progress successfully saved. So yeah, that's about it. So I'm really looking forward to what's coming up next. And so yeah, really looking forward to it. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you all next time.